Hi, this is Bill Punch with another video from Michigan State University's Introduction to Computer Science using Python CSE 231. This will be our third video on strings, basically covering methods and immutability. Let's go ahead and get started. So we titled this More Fun with Strings. Where we start is that for Python in general, for every collection, they are classified into one of two types. Either mutable collection or an immutable collection. And those words mean pretty much what you would think. An immutable collection is a collection that you cannot change. A mutable collection is a collection that you can change. And interestingly, strings are an immutable collection, and so by that I mean you cannot change the value of a string once it's created. Here's a classic example of something that you would expect you should be able to do. I have a string hello world, and what I'd like to do is take that first character, the H, at position index 0, and I'd like to change it to a Y. But if I try to do that, Python complains. Right? You cannot change an element in a string, and so every operation that we're going to tell you about now creates a new string because you cannot change a string once it's created. You cannot index assign, which is what this is called. This operation is called index assignment. That's not allowed. And all the other methods that we've talked about, concatenation, replication, all of those create new strings because you can't change a string once it's made. However, you can make a new string which includes a change. So remember our hello world guy? If we want to change hello world to yellow world, what are we going to do? We have to create a new string, and so we have a sequence of operations that allow us to do that. We want to make the first letter Y. And then we talk about the string from 1 to 5. And 1 to 5 means that the fifth element is not included. It's a half open range. So we concatenate the Y onto the front of ELLO. And then we concatenate to the front of that the W plus the string beginning at 5 all the way to the end. We take the default. So if I run that, I get the original string, not modified by any of those operations, hello world, the new string, yellow world. Right? The string, my string, is unchanged by the slice, but we've created a new string as a result of applications of all these methods. We have another kind of function. We've seen the length function, we've seen concatenation, we've seen replication. Here's a new kind of function. It's a special kind of function. It's called a method. And the way a method is written is, and we'll show you an example here, the object that we want to perform an operation on, a dot or a period, the name of the method that comes after it, and then after the method, just like any other function, a parenthetical expression of any other arguments that we want to have. Now, the nice thing about Python is it will help us figure this out as we go along. So let's start with my string, which is still set to hello world. And I say tab. I hit the tab character on my keyboard. Here are do it again. Here are a list of all of the methods that are available for me to do as an operation. And so Python will tell me what they are. Let's go down to the upper method. So the upper method, I select that. If I then hit any arguments that go with it, I hit the parentheses. Python says, hey, it takes as an argument, right, the string, applies upper, and it needs no arguments. So if I run this method, it takes the original string and returns all caps, hello world, and my string is not modified, a new string is created. If I want to look for another one, let's look at replace. Paren, it says, look, what do you want to replace? How do you want to replace it, and how many times do you want to replace it? And by the way, it returns a string. So replace will go in and say, I want to change the L to X. And if I run that, I get every L is replaced with an X. A new string is created. The original string, hello world, is unmodified. Oops. So after all those operations, nothing's been changed. So one way to learn about the string methods is to look to see what all your options are. Many of them make sense. Capitalize capitalizes the first. Find finds the location of a character. Index is the same as a square bracket operator. Is alnum, is alpha, is decimal, are all Boolean tests? Does it contain only decimals? Does it contain only digits? Is it a lowercase? Is it an uppercase? Is it a space? So you can sort of look at the names of all these methods and understand what it is that they're going to do. The string set has the largest number of methods, and so there are a lot of them in there. It's good to sort of take a look at each one of them and see what it does.